massive talent exodus from Warner Brothers. What am I talking about here? You don't have to go too far back in history.
No.
Hell, it was just a couple of years ago, just before David Zaslav and Discovery took Warner Brothers away from AT&T, that we saw one of the biggest talent backlashes against a studio ever, where, after, Jason Kilar, this was when AT&T owned Warner Brothers, and Jason Kilar was the head guy there, who, by the way, I slam on a number of the things that Kilar did. He also did some pretty smart things. I don't want to take away from that, so just let me be clear about that. But he also did some of the most monumentally stupid things in the history of that, in my personal estimation. But remember, it ended up that Christopher Nolan wrote public letters basically saying, and I'm annotating here, fuck you, I'm out. I'm paraphrasing a little bit, but that was basically the essence of Christopher Nolan to Warner Brothers. I am out and I'm gone, and they lost Christopher Nolan.
Oh, you motherfuckers.
Which is why Oppenheimer and the upcoming The Odyssey are not coming out under the Warner Brothers banner. Had nothing to do with David Zaslav or DeLuca Nabby. This was before them, and he was up and out the door, and he went over to Universal. One of the most calm guys in the world, the Canadian kid, Denis Villeneuve, wrote an open letter in one of the major trades saying, what the hell are you doing, to Warner Brothers leadership? And a number of other, now he stuck around, but he made it clear, but that's because they had the rights to do, and he had no choice. But, and then we saw a number of other creatives go. We just recently have seen, like, James Cameron himself. Now, James Cameron is not at Warner Brothers, but James Cameron just wrote a pretty strong, or had a pretty strong response in an interview saying, listen, I'll never work with Warner Brothers if they're owned by Netflix. They have to be careful about a mass talent exodus, because, fair or unfair, there is going to be, Netflix is going to have to work hard to prove to the creatives in the business, we're serious. And that's not on the creatives, it's not on their shoulders to just believe it. It's on Netflix's shoulders that they got to prove it. They're going to have to work. Again, you can say it's unfair, but it doesn't matter. What is, whether it's fair or not. And what is that there are going to be a lot of creatives in the business and in the industry who are going to be, currently are, and will continue to be incredibly dubious about this whole thing. And the onus is going to be on Netflix and Ted Sarandos, which is part of the reason why I think he's already sounding like he's doing it. But it's going to be up to them, that they are going to have to convince the creatives in the business and prove that they're serious about this industry, about this art, about this business. They got to prove they're serious about it. That we are going to let you guys continue to make the movies you're going to make. We are going to fully support Warner Brothers. We want the tradition of Warner Brothers to go. Again, their main battle cry is going to be, that's why we spend $82 billion, is to get this thing, so we can do that. Because if they don't, Rob, even in the absence of doing anything else wrong, if Netflix does not embark on a serious campaign to reach out in mass and individually to key creatives in this business, that, listen, guys, we are dead serious. We are all into the theatrical business now. Ted Sarandos said yesterday, I'm now in the theatrical business. If you don't reach out in mass with huge campaigns and one-on-one private conversations with all these creatives, you could be facing a massive talent exodus away from wanting to work with Warner Brothers. And that is something they're going to have to work very, very hard for. Because if they do lose a lot of talent, like they already lost Christopher Nolan, thanks to AT&T, it's going to be a rough number of years for Warner Brothers moving forward. So anyway, Rob, I believe that is the fifth potential disaster here, is a big talent exodus. How do you feel about that?
I feel exactly the same way you do. I mean, that was another big mistake that AT&T made. They also made that the day and date, during the pandemic.
That was the number one mistake.
That was ridiculous. And that's really what, that was what set Christopher Nolan off with Tenet. I mean, things like John Hancock's The Little Things, that had Denzel Washington, Jared Leto, and Rami Malek in it, that serial killer movie. And that wasn't the greatest movie in the world, but that was the first movie that suffered under that day and date release problem. And then all those movies did. You didn't just alienate one creator, you alienated a bunch of people in the business. And that was, again, that was a mistake made by people that didn't really know what they were doing. That was a knee-jerk response. That was not having enough trust in the business itself. The movie business has been run a certain way for over 100 years. It is not rocket science. You can look at trends and see things, what worked and what didn't work. You can see when the Hollywood system almost collapsed in the 60s under the drivel that they were making, and how the renegades came in, like Coppola and like Dennis Hopper and Spielberg and Lucas and everybody, and changed the business in the 70s. You can look at these trends. It's not rocket science. But what you need is talent. The only thing that movie studios have to sell is good movies. Period. That's it. There isn't enough. They're not making. And by the way, movie studios are not making. I'd love it if they made mid-level dramas. I would love to go back to Warner Brothers. I thought when we made Hills Run Red, they were going to start making a bunch of movies for $5 million and under, and that I'd be able to participate in that. I got to make one. I think they should start that again. But they've got to figure out a way to also make movies and give new creators a shot. Make movies for $50 million. And make adult dramas that they've been completely taken out of the marketplace. And Netflix, if you know that you have a streaming service, like the one thing that they didn't used to have, I mean, they have HBO Max, but when they're making movies for streaming that cost $300 million, nobody knows the difference.
Yeah.
It's 2 hours of time, John. And if they've got a studio in place that already has this infrastructure, and by the way, you know what else Warner Brothers has? One of the greatest studio lots that ever existed. They have gigantic sound stages. Every single one of those. If you go to Warner Brothers now, it's like a ghost town. And they should bring back production and turn Warner Brothers, Netflix should turn it into, I mean, didn't they build a studio out in New Jersey or something? But they could turn that hub into the greatest production hub ever and bring everything under the roofs they have already that they're buying. I don't get it, man. And that talent, bring the talent back. Put all that talent. When I worked at Warner Brothers, you had Malpazzo, you had Clint Eastwood over here, you had George Lucas over, Richard Donner over here, and Joel Silver over here, and it was all on the lot. Do that again. Put all these creative people together, both TV and movies, all under that one. Make that lot come back together and put creatives together, man.
It goes beyond that lot because you have those state of the art. Down where the ranch used to be.
Yeah, that's right. They tore down. Yeah.
So
they tore down the Lethal Weapon house.
They also own the property that the old NBC Studios was on. It's now called the Burbank Studios.
Yeah.
I think they did a land swap thing there. So like Warner Brothers owns the land that NBC Studios was on, but not the sound stages in there. But then the company that owned NBC owns the land that the ranch is on, but Warner Brothers owns the sound stages on it.
Right.
So, I mean, there's a lot of opportunity there.
Yeah, they should turn it into the hub it used to be.
Guys, we want to take a second to thank a sponsor of this video, Aura. Guys, if you are anything like me, you swear every year you're going to be on top of your Christmas shopping, and then suddenly it's December 20th, the shelves are empty, and you're standing around in Target asking yourself, does my aunt even like candles? But this year, I am not doing that because of Aura Frames. It's completely saved me. See, I always struggled with what to get people in my life, but this year I'm going to give out a couple of Aura Frames, and it's hands down the most personal, meaningful gift that I can possibly give. And here's the best part. Aura lets you upload unlimited photos and videos. Plus, the frame comes in a premium gift box with no price tag, so it feels like a classy, well thought out gift, even if you bought it last minute. Guys, you can't gift wrap togetherness, but you can frame it. So for a limited time, save on the perfect gift by visiting auraframes.com to get $35 off Aura's best-selling Carver matte frames named #1 by Wirecutter by using promo code CAMPEA at the checkout. That's auraframes.com, promo code Campea. This deal is exclusive to our listeners and frames sell out fast. So order yours now to get it in on time for the holidays. Support the show by mentioning that we sent you at checkout. Terms and conditions apply. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching this video. Make sure you like the video, leave a comment, and subscribe to our channel. And don't forget, we have a daily podcast called the John Campea Show podcast, available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcasting app of choice. Go and subscribe to it today so it'll be there when you need it.